All right, we're about ready to get this thing started. Thank you for giving me some time to share this to the networks now that we're live. Please hit that share button, smash that like button. Thank you for supporting. Good morning, Jordan. Good morning, gun guy. Congratulations on winning your parlay. Good morning, Bear Down Mike. Here comes the YouTube stream. Oh, yeah. It's that time. It's that time. Welcome one, welcome all. This is a bonus episode of NFC North Talk with your host, Russell Wayne. Welcome to the program on this beautiful Saturday, and I'm just all filled up with the emotion after a smashing victory in Arrowhead Stadium by our Detroit Lions. We are broadcasting live into the Detroit Lions Villain Squad. Please go over and give that a follow. And if you're watching this and you're hearing the words coming out of my mouth, like this video that you are watching right now, because it helps us get out there. We're just a bunch of guys that just like football and love talking football. And welcome to the program, Main Event Mike, Emmy nominated Main Event Mike.
Good morning, Russ.
Yes. Good morning. We were deciding whether we were going to try to go on today and do this thing today, but there's just so much for us to talk about today. I mean, not just gloating, because we definitely, another opportunity to gloat. You like that? Yes, getting it done on the road against the Super Bowl champions. The Lions beat the Kansas City Chiefs 21-20. You like that? You like that? You like that?
I love that.
You like that?
We're gonna bite a kneecap. We're gonna bite a kneecap off.
We're gonna bite a kneecap off. Hey, people, this feels like a freebie. It does? Yeah, it's free.
It is a freebie, Detroit fan, man.
It is. I mean, I said that I go live during the week, but maybe this might turn into a weekly thing. I don't want to commit to every Saturday, but as long as there's good football to talk about and I got ideas in my head, this is the time that my wife's off work. So it's a bonus, Do I want to come on and talk about some football? Do I want to just hang around? And I don't know. I think it's always a good time to talk football, especially when we got these games. It's war week, baby. I mean, now that the Lions are at the top of the NFL right now, number 1 in the power rankings, the only 1-0 team in the NFL. Now we have this division game that becomes big. I mean, you're probably going to be tuning into that one tomorrow, aren't you, Mike?
For sure. Bears, Packers. Honestly, I'm more intrigued by that game than I was Chiefs and Lions.
Brent says the Arrowhead is Ford Field West.
Nice.
Jared Goff, 2-0 against the tribal chief.
Acknowledge me.
That's pretty good. There's not too many people that can say that, especially getting a victory there. I don't care under any circumstances. These Lions fans are homer big time. Wow. You damn right we are. We just knocked off the Super Bowl champions. Did you? No, your team didn't. Not your team's got a battle that you got to go through.
And I don't know. Think we're homers now? If you think it's bad now, Jermaine, you just wait till we truck stick the pack in week 4. They're going to be coming out of the woodwork. Lions fans have been dormant for 60 years. This is a football town, my friend. It's going to go crazy because Brad Holmes has built a winner.
Yeah, he has. And you're going to have to really just kind of deal with that, because it has been 719 days since the Pack beat the Lions. Signed villain. Yeah, we want to be the villains. I don't want you guys liking us anymore. You can go ahead and hate us, Packerhead. You can go ahead and hate us.
Getting on today, Russ. I was up late shredding Packer fans on their own show last night.
Yeah, and tell me a little bit about that. And I mean, I think that maybe you should just stick to your Monday nights, right?
I think I'm going to stick to Monday nights. I had some guy call me a motherfucker and leave his own show. It was bad. All I said was that Christian Watson not playing in the Chicago game is a big deal because Chicago has a pretty good secondary. And he lost his shit right then when I said Chicago had a good secondary. And it was very comical. I loved it.
So he didn't really think that Chicago has a good secondary. You see that guy right there? That when you're talking about optimistic.
There were a couple other Lion fans on there, and they backed it up. It's like, yeah, Jaquan Brisker. Come on, Kyle Gordon. These are good players. Tyreek Stevenson, the guy out of the U, the rookie's looking good at 6'3", playing great in the preseason. They're going to be tough.
So you do you think they have a little bit better of a shot now? I mean,
I did. I was picking the Packers to even cover the spread, not just win the game. But I'm not so sure now. Having Christian Watson out and Romeo Doubs is banged up too. He's not even at full health. I think that's going to be a big factor in this game. They're going to need to run the ball, but now Chicago has a trio of great linebackers. They can stack the box and stop the run. And not having your two best receivers, who, by the way, are only second-year players, and Jordan Love, basically a rookie, I think this evens this game up a lot. When you consider Green Bay is so much better on the offensive and defensive line than Chicago, they should absolutely win this game. But not having those receivers at full health or in the game is going to even the playing field for Chicago and really give them a chance to win this game.
Yeah, I think it is a big deal, but here's the thing is, you know, the Green Bay Packers have a good defense. And that really, I mean, Christian Watson doesn't play defense, and Justin Fields doesn't have to beat Christian Watson. Justin Fields has to go up against that defense who he's never done well against. So I think Christian Watson being out sucks for them. But, you got Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones can be a receiver too because he's proven that. And A.J. Dillon, you lean on the run game and that good defense. I still think that Green Bay wins this game.
Rookie tight ends, I just think they're going to struggle to move the ball without any real offensive firepower out there, and that's going to give Justin Fields a chance to stay in this game.
And Chicago has a 31st ranked secondary. I don't know about that. Can you clarify or deny that?
They have good players back there. They may be 31st ranked because their team couldn't sack the quarterback. They could put absolutely no pressure on the quarterback. But they have great players back there, there's no doubt.
So our fourth preseason game was great. In the final tune-up is this home opener. Not sure why other NFC North teams are tripping.
Well, they're tripping because they're scared.
Yeah, they be tripping. Yeah. And looking at that game, it's such a big game to come right out War Week and have this, in Lambeau South. I mean, this is a very big game for the Chicago Bears to try to, establish themselves after getting owned by Aaron Rodgers for 10 years. So they need to come out and they need to make the statement. I know that they're talking tough out there, like it's just this easy win now because it's Jordan Love. But I'm sorry, man. To turn that tide, you're going to have to do a little bit more than that. This is a good.
Beating the Bears, it's ridiculous, right? In a row. Like, when's the last time Chicago beat Green Bay? It's been a long time.
So yeah, according to PFF, yeah, I'm not denying that. Maybe they're ranked as the 32nd secondary, but they made improvements. They drafted a cornerback in the second round of the draft. That's not being taken into consideration. Kyler Gordon was he was a good pro last year, and Jaquan Brisker he's top level safety in this league. So Chet says that Chicago has a terrible secondary, worse than the Lions, and the Lions don't have a bad secondary. See, that's the thing is you're living in 2022, and that's fine. I mean, if that's all you have to go on, but if you've been following these teams and what they've been doing in the offseason, you have to take into consideration the improvements that they made, and you don't have to look any further than the game at Arrowhead, and you're looking at a much improved Lions team when it comes on the defensive side of the ball. Wow, what a dominating performance by the defensive line right there. So, terrible secondary, maybe ranked last year, but they made some improvements. They spent $100 million. I think that it's going to be much improved secondary for the Chicago Bears.
Okay, so I guess the Packer fans take as it doesn't matter that Christian Watson is out, and it doesn't matter that Romeo Doubs is banged up, because all of these drywallers and taxi cab drivers they got playing wide receiver, they're just going to be fine, I guess. 2 rookie tight ends. Essentially, Jordan Love is a rookie. You think, I mean, we talk about the pressure the Bears have. You think Jordan Love doesn't have some pressure coming in, playing the Bears, filling in after Aaron Rodgers leaves the organization? There's a lot of pressure on that kid.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell we have a lot of Bear fan and Packer fans in here. And the Bears think they got this in the bag, man.
13 of the last 14, the Packers have beat the Bears. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, Dak Prescott's won 10 in a row against the Giants. I mean, that's probably the only more impressive streak than that.
Yep. Last season, the Bears defense was depleted and bad by design. We traded Mack and Smith to clear space.
Yeah.
I mean,
you traded 2 Pro Bowlers, Mike. That's right. You traded 2 Pro Bowl defensive players.
And then you replace them with, I think you put in starter quality people, but you're still not good on the defensive line or the offensive line. And that's
Correct.
really where the game is won, guys.
That's right.
I mean,
Green Bay should win this game based on that.
Right. So when Green Bay fan says that they're not worried about not having Christian Watson, we're not worried about having anything, I think that doesn't mean that they're not respecting it or anything like that. I think they just believe that their offensive line can dominate their defensive line. They're going to lean more on the run game than they are on the pass game. And they were going to do that anyway. I don't care what these people think that Jordan Love is just going to go out there and start slinging the ball all over the place. I don't think that's what Matt LaFleur had in mind. He was frustrated with the way that Aaron Rodgers was playing because he was audibling into plays like that, where he wants to sling the ball all over the place. You got Aaron Jones, you got A.J. Dillon, run the football, play, protect football. Jordan Love, I think, can be a starter level quarterback and not mess up. I think that he can do that type of thing. And if you play good defense, you should be fine.
We've never actually seen the Matt LaFleur offense. We've seen Aaron Rodgers' variation, bastardized version of the Matt LaFleur offense. And I think it's going to be very interesting because Matt LaFleur comes from a West Coast offense tree. So I think there's going to be a lot of short passes, a lot of tight end involvement. And Jordan Love's not going to be asked to throw the ball deep a lot. So it's going to be interesting to see how Matt LaFleur's game plan, what it really looks like without Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be very interesting. And what I want to ask right now is, I have the out of these 15 new people that are watching on the YouTube channel, for one, thank you very much for watching on YouTube. And two, while you're on there, can you hit that like button while you're on that real quick? Because that always helps us out with that. And you too, on wherever you're watching, if you're watching with the villain, give our page a follow and hit that like button. We would really, really appreciate that if you did that. Anthony says that Packers are going to beat the Bears. Yes. Anthony says that the Lions are going to be the ones looked at. And I'm a Packers fan, but we are going to the bottom of the league. Wow.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
I'm flabbergasted. A Packer fan will come in there and say that. I wouldn't fall off anyway. Awesome content, fellas. Love the shows, but the Bears are going to take the L. I agree with that.
You like that?
That's a good call right there. I think that Mike might be jumping fences because of all the other. Thank you for those likes. Thank you for those likes. I appreciate that. Wow. I didn't even think that when I said that stuff that actually works. But I appreciate you liking the content. Jordan Love just has to manage the game. He doesn't have to be a hero. And I agree with that. And I think that Jordan Love is going to run into some problems later on in the season, but I don't think it's going to be against the Bears. I don't think the Bears have the horses to put pressure on the Jordan Love and stop the run. Because that's what you have to do first. First, you have to stop the run. And then from stopping the run, you're able to get the pass rush. You can start confusing Love at that point. But you got to take his blanket away from him. Right now, he's holding this nice little blanket. He's like, oh, yes, I love my run game. Oh, my run game is so nice. And he gets to do that. And I'm sure that LaFleur is going to play that card if he's smart. If he's a good coach, that's what he's going to do. I mean, maybe he believes in Love so much that he's going to open it up right away. Open it up right away against the Chicago Bears. But I don't know. Anthony says, we are worried about you, but you think that rookie receiver is going to be, but I think that rookie receiver is going to be a breakout star. I'm assuming that you're referring to Jaden Reed. And I watched him play at Michigan State. I'm a Buckeye fan. So Mike's a Michigan fan. So we are very familiar with Michigan State and the players that came from there. And yeah, I think he could be a breakout star. But that's a lot of cheese to throw on that cracker in the very first game, to go to Soldier Field in that environment. I mean, you look at the Lions playing the Arrowhead yesterday, they had Jahmyr Gibbs. They only gave him 9 touches. And I don't think it's because they don't think he can handle a load, but going into Arrowhead, not being able to hear anything that you're doing, that's a big thing. That's a big thing. It's still in Soldier Field. Those Chicago Bear fans are fired up. Even though we make fun, we do all that stuff, but the reality is those fans are fired up. They're fired up. They think that Justin Fields could take the next step. And even though the fans make fun of him on the other side of it, you've seen the ability. You've seen the guy can escape the pocket. All he has to do is be able to throw a little bit, and then he's going to be dangerous. A-Dub, good to see you. Love it. I said before that the trenches would be where the game is won, and the Packers have the advantage in the trenches. I agree with that. That's a great call, A-Dub. That's good. That's good. Is it open mic yet? No, open mics are on Monday nights. Open mic every Monday night, hosted by Main Event Mike. You want to come and get some? Obviously, he can't travel to other shows because they can't handle the smoke. They get mad, throw their hands up, and so you're going to have to come on Monday night to get that smoke. If you want to get that smoke, Mike will give it to you. 7 p.m. Eastern. That's NFC North open mic. Come rep your team. Don't come with feelings. Don't bring feelings. We don't want to hear anything about those feelings. Feelings. Nothing more than feelings. Yes. All right, let's get in there. Mike just kind of pieced out, so maybe I will let people come in today, and we can do an open mic, because maybe we do got some Packer fans in here. I got some questions I got to ask for you guys. We were gloating. We get a chance to gloat as Lions fans right there. 21-20 over the Super Bowl champ Kansas City Chiefs. Any way you slice it. Undefeated at Arrowhead in opening games, and the Lions were the first one to give them that L. Drink it in, man. Drink it in.
Acknowledge me.
The tribal chief got by the Detroit Lions. I got to brag that out there one more time before I throw the link out, right? I got to throw it out there. I got to throw the link out there because I want you to get an opportunity to speak with me, and we're going to talk about these games. And I haven't even said anything about these Tampa Bay Buccaneers going against the Minnesota Vikings. That's a big game right there for the Vikings. You guys are counting that as an easy W right there. What if you don't win that game? What if you don't beat? What if you don't beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? You're counting that as an easy, and Baker Mayfield can't replace Tom Brady. Baker Mayfield can't replace Tom Brady. Who knows? Who knows? I threw the link in there. I threw the link into the comments. And you want to have a conversation with me, we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about these elephants in the room. I can gloat all day long about the Lions beating the Chiefs. I feel so good about my team right now that I think that we can do special things this year. I saw so much good inside of that game going into the beehive that is Arrowhead Stadium and picking up a victory. I don't care who's playing. That's a hard environment to win in. But welcome to the program, A-Dub in the house. Let me get to what is going on.
Not much, man.
I'm feeling good on Saturday, man. You feeling good going into your game tomorrow?
Yep, plenty to look forward to.
Bears versus Packers.
I don't say.
I mean,
about what I've been hearing on the show yeah, I just wanted to address a few things I heard on the show last night about, yeah, I won't undersell the idea that the Bears secondary is far better than what it was last season. They did have their issues in certain areas, but my story is I just have to see it for myself to believe it. And yes, Christian Watson being lost to us hurts a big deal. Like that's our deep threat that's no longer present on the field. But I still find plenty within this receiving core to like that some other guys could step up. Like we do have a great deal of unknowns with this group to begin with, but I'm saying eventually somebody will show up for us.
well, I mean, you hope. I mean, you guys are in uncharted territory with a lot of these ideas right here because you've always had either a Hall of Fame quarterback or you have some great guys that you can like depend on. And now there's question marks there. You don't know if Jordan Love's going to be the guy. You don't know if a receiver. I mean, why would you think that just somebody's going to step up? I mean, that doesn't happen for every team. Sometimes the guy doesn't step up and then you just have to deal with the fact that you might suck. I mean, and you won't have anything there. And really, if you guys aren't running the football effectively, it ain't going to matter who that you can have Christian Watson and Dobbs out there and all the guys you think are good. If you ain't got a running game, you saw what happened last night when the Lions play. If there's no running game, if you shut down the run, you can stop anybody. If you get after the quarterback, if you make a quarterback uncomfortable, you can beat anybody. So that's where I think your strength lies, offensive and defensive line. I mean, I think you guys will win that battle and ultimately win the game. But I don't think that like Torre is going to have to like come out and have this magnificent, huge game or anything like that. You can get away with minimal passing.
Yeah, and that's not what I mean. Like I'm not expecting receivers to have no big game going into this, but I'm just saying Christian Watson being absent from it wouldn't be much of a big deal if he's not the majority of the offense that we run. That's what I feel.
And the Chicago Bears have their own crosses to bear in this game with their offensive line. You know, you're putting this thing together with some bubblegum tape, trying to put a MacGyver offensive line together. And when you got a team that can bring it like the Packers can on the edge and in the pass rush, I didn't lose me, did I? Okay, yeah. So when you got a team that can bring it, I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, it don't matter how fast Justin Fields is. If they can't get any kind of protection around him, if he's running the whole game, I mean, he's going to wear out. He'll wear out by
and that's where one would say the best strategy for Green Bay going into this game, as far as our defense versus their offense, is we'll be more comfortable if we force Justin Fields to beat us with his arm more so than his legs.
Yeah, I mean, there's some truth to that, but sometimes I think that part of his accuracy that is bad accuracy is coming from the fact that he just got done running 30 yards. It's like running a sprint. You're breathing heavy. I mean, he may be in the best shape of his life, but still that's going to affect, your accuracy of, how far you're throwing the ball, your regular thing when you're sitting back there with no pressure and you're slinging the ball all over the place. He might be a more accurate quarterback than what he's given for, but since he has to run all over the place, when you're tired, when you're huffing, you're going to throw the ball differently.
Well, yeah, but then that also goes back to what some Bear fans have said before last season. For him to run so much, he didn't have much trust or any connection with the receiving core he has now. Last season, like he didn't have nobody he could trust then.
Yeah, but he does have somebody that he can trust now. I believe that DJ Moore is going to make him maybe even a below average passer. And that's the best that I'm going to. I mean, he could elevate his game to below average passing, and it's going to make their offense a lot better because he was awful, god awful at passing up until this point. Like, there's not a good. I mean, you might be able to pick out a handful of passes out of his whole career, and cherry. I like this pass. I like this pass, but you can do that with any quarterback. You can look through any quarterback of the worst quarterbacks ever. They've thrown some good passes in the NFL sometime. That's why they call them sparks of brilliance. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I was hoping I was going to get main event Mike back, but I know that he had another meeting. But no, I wanted to come on here today and talk some football because this is really big. This game for you guys, like somebody's taking an L and is already going to be a game behind the 8 ball. I didn't think the Lions were going to win that game. When I predicted 11 wins for the season, that wasn't one of them. So I guess I bump my number up to 12 because they won a game that I thought they would lose, right? If you're going through game by game, I would have to say that they're one game better now than I thought that they were going to be. So now it means even more to the loser of this game to already be behind not just the team they played, but be behind the Lions too. So, but throw that in the comments, man. I mean, here we are. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt that. I want to involve these guys right here. But if you're out there, I know you probably put 1,000 predictions into the comments, but here we are. It's the day before the game. Last second, knowing Christian Watson is out. He's been declared out. There is no Christian Watson for this game. What is your prediction? Chicago Bears versus the Green Bay Packers in Soldier Field. What is your prediction for the game? I still think that the Packers win the game. I think they run the ball. They run, they run with a ball control. They don't take chances. They play defense. They got the better defense by a long shot. Steve is real. Yeah. He says, I think Reed and Heath and the 2 tight ends will show a lot of promise.
Those are, I know what he's talking about. Jaden Reed and Malik Heath, that undrafted free agent we picked up. Yeah, that's who we will have to depend on for the most part of this game to produce for us if Watson's not out there. And Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft, the guys we drafted, they'll have to show up too.
I don't know if this is true right here, but Bear Down Mike says Jordan has 83 attempts and has thrown 3 interceptions and 3 touchdowns. He turns the ball over.
We could say the same thing about Justin Fields, especially when I always enjoy bringing up the fun fact that Fields has turned the ball over in every game he's played against Green Bay to this point.
Yeah, he's got to protect the ball better for that. But still, I mean, this is somebody that's following a Hall of Fame quarterback that followed a Hall of Fame quarterback. So,
you're talking about 3 interceptions throughout the first 3 years he's played. Yeah, I know where they came from, and the thing is this: we pretty much that hasn't happened during the preseason where he's much more consistent and precise throwing the football. Like, he isn't going to have that many attempts in one game.
Bears O-line will be ready. Tevin Jenkins is the only one injured. And that's fair. That's fair to say. Nate Davis did not practice with you all that much so I don't know how much continuity you expect these guys to go out. Because I watched the Lions yesterday. They didn't do any of the preseason things, and they did look rusty on the first couple drives. So there is truth to getting real-time reps. That's a different type of game. You're in the regular season now. These are real reps here. But all Chicago has to do is line up their OTs in the backfield and jump before every snap. Yeah, there was a lot of talk.
The Lions Chiefs game.
Yeah, that there was a lot of talk. It was put out there, and this is by national. This isn't just Lions fans complaining here, but Juwan Taylor jumping and being illegally lined up in the backfield, and all game long they let him jump offsides or in false start the entire game because Aiden Hutchinson was owning his $80 million ass all game long. I don't know if you saw replays of that double spin move. Oh my gosh.
I mean, if you had that much problems with somebody, one would tell you the best strategy would have been to either you line up an extra lineman behind them like a running back, or even make sure you have a double tight end setting for your old line. Help out the blockers a bit more when it comes to protecting Mahomes.
Well, but here's what happened, and this is exactly what I was talking about when it came with the depth of the Detroit Lions defensive line. What happened is they got wore out. And then there wasn't an answer. Then they tried to double team Hutchinson the entire time, and that didn't work because that just let Pascal and the other defensive linemen through. The Lions are going to be a problem for you because that wasn't some punk that Aiden Hutchinson did that against. That was a 4-year, $80 million contract that he just did that to you. So what do you think that he is going to do against, Darnell Wright, and a rookie? What do you think that he's going to do against average and ordinary tackles? That was a top 5 tackle in this game that he did that to. And it wasn't even close, guys. It wasn't even close. It was like a grown man beating up a child. And you're going to have to deal with that. And he is going to eat all season long. And unless you do line up in a yard in the backfield and jump off sides the entire game, you ain't going to stand a chance against Hutch. That's a scary defender. That dude made scary gains in the offseason. And Chicago, oh my gosh, all they got to do is line up. Yeah. All right. They should do Jones the same way they did Hawk and pay him or trade him. Stop complaining.
Yeah, like he's talking about Chris Jones for the Chiefs. Either pay him or let him go. They should make up their mind, but that was one reason why I did pick the Lions to win that game, because Chris Jones' presence on that defense matters a big deal for them to even play as good as they did before last season. If they don't have him, if they don't have that presence on the line, then it's easy for anybody to run through them like the Lions did.
Yep, and they got closed. And don't make no mistake about it. That was that the Lions could have won that game by more than that. They fumbled the ball in the red zone. They were moving the ball. They were fine. And they end up winning the game, but I don't want to hear any of these excuses. Oh, they dropped passes. You know what? They were 0 for 7 on third down in the second half. So if you want to cherry pick 4 plays and say, well, they dropped the pass on this one, you know what? They were getting stopped anyway. They had no answer for the defensive line at the end. It doesn't matter that your quarterback's going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback. It doesn't matter what quarterback you are. If you're getting pressured like that, you can't expect him to do that. So Chris Jones not being there, that may or may not have helped them. Frank Ragnow is one of the best centers in the league. So you can't just tell me that guy would have just owned Frank Ragnow. That's Frank the Tank, baby. That's Frank the Tank. Hawk got his money. Let's see. Anthony says, I believe Minnesota is going to be trashed this year. Look at what they've lost. Let's talk about that.
I keep saying many times before, from my perspective, the Vikings did lose more than they gained considering the starters that they lost. Guys like Patrick Peterson, Eric Kendricks, Dalvin Tomlinson, or even Zadarius Smith are gone. You lost Adam Thielen and Dalvin Cook. Some of
Yep.
those names are key guys that they're going to miss.
Oh, thank you for all of these predictions in there, Tyler. Yeah, 31-17 Bears. Gosh, you guys, I love these. Like, both teams actually believe they're going to dominate this game, and I love it because I don't care. I wish you both could lose. Oh man, Rob says that Bears win, but it's close. A low score, 17-14. That if the Bears do win, I think it is a game like that. You get them down to the end of the game, and you gotta prove that you can close a game out. But we got the win, Russ. Yes, we got the win, and we did it in the ugly fashion. You beat the Super Bowl champions, not playing their best game, but you didn't play your best game either. And the big thing is you got the win. You got the win. It doesn't matter all the complaining. They're not going to put an asterisk next to it. It's always going to be a 1-0. No matter you're complaining or you're whining or your justifications or, you want to say Jared Goff threw 5 wobbly completions or whatever you want to say. It's a win. It's 2-0 versus Patrick Mahomes. Get over it. I love it. John Kapler. All right, I love these. Keep these predictions coming in. That tackle, horse snot, he was so far back, was horse snot. Okay. All right. Jordan says that we sent a message that we're gritty and the lesson that officiating has to do better. And the lesson didn't come with a loss. Yeah, we got that apology from the officiating crew, and it didn't come after a loss. They're not throwing us an apology saying, oh, wow, we're sorry we cost you the game. After we looked at it, I guess we did get it wrong. No, they're saying we did get it wrong, and you won anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Those were global killers. That's what they were. Did I lose you? I didn't lose.
No.
Okay,
Still
good.
Here.
All right.
Definitely the officiating of that Lions and Chiefs game was very far off. Like I've seen a lot of calls that were missed in that game. Like it's plenty of adversity to go by, but I say the better team knows how to overcome that adversity.
And the better team won that game. And it might have been, you can say Travis Kelce wasn't there and that helped. But here's the thing, and I'm going to push back on that for this reason, is their backup tight end came in and had a good game and caught a touchdown pass, right? So if Travis Kelce was there, then I'm assuming that in the spot of that guy that caught the touchdown pass, who came in relief, that he would have caught that touchdown pass too. I mean, it would have been better. Offense would have been better with Travis Kelce in it. Better. But the thing is they got production from their tight end room. So, and woulda, coulda, shoulda. Get healthy. I mean, I don't care. John Kapler. The Lions had so much pressure against the Chiefs line and against the number 1 center and 2 guards that were ranked like 3 and 8. So I think so. The best interior in the league. Yeah, I was very impressed on how much pressure. They dominated that game. They won the line of scrimmage. There's no doubt. Both sides of the ball, big badasses. Top 5 tackle. He looked like a middle schooler playing against a high schooler. Yeah. He's a top 5 tackle. I mean, I don't know if you're meaning that in a sarcastic way, but that's a top 5 tackle. And Aiden Hutchinson made him look like a high schooler. That should tell you something. He's going to do that all 4 of the teams in the North, or all the other 3 teams in the North. Lions Nation, baby, let's go. Decker played injured. Any update on the Taylor Decker injury? I don't know. I didn't know that he got injured. Is he injured for a long time? Did he just leave the field? Let's look it up. Let's look it up. Taylor Decker was playing injured, and that's what they do. Most offensive linemen do that. Most of them played injured the whole damn year because that's what it is. It's a big fight.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big fight.
Got a line.
19 hours ago. Go ahead.
I'm saying we got an old lineman of our own that stays on the injured list, but still when he's on the field, he's very effective. Being Bakhtiari.
Yep, I'm looking through here. Pride of Detroit as an article that says that Taylor Decker, he did suffer an injury, but we got 10 days to get ready for Seattle, and we don't see any reason. It's an optimistic update on Taylor Decker. I hope that helps. I hope that answers the question. Brent says 24-17 to Bears. Yeah. All right, Jay Mommy, how often do the Chiefs score 6 in the second half? It is. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. If you're a Lion fan, drink it in, guys. Drink it in. How often? How often do you get to do this? We got 10 days to, maybe it is fool's gold. Maybe it is. Maybe all these Packer fans are going to come in here on Monday, and that's what they're probably going to say. And that's fine. A-Dub isn't like that. He's not a trash talker in that way. But the Packer fans will probably come in and say we got lucky, blah, 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 all that. But drink it in. Drink it in. The key is the Packers, or the key is the Bears won't be able to stop the Packers running game with the Bears D-line. I like that call.
I did say before that's one area where Bears do have their question marks at, because their D-line was terrible last season. One has to see how better it's going to be now.
Oh, gosh. Robert says, Packers and Bears tie. Cousins has the Viking fans wondering why they didn't trade for Trey Lance, and the Lions are alone in first place. Now that is
we're going to bite a kneecap off.
Now that's some weird thinking right there. I guess that could happen. You guys could tie tonight. Probably not, but there you go. That's a good thought. When was the last time the Lions were in sole possession of first place at any point in the season? Oh, thanks, Rob. O-line health is the key to our season. Adam says, MFers, listen, Green Bay, Chicago, Minnesota, you beat them. And you tell them, and tell me how it works. Okay. All right. John Kapler, here's a prediction. The Lions have the half game rest. We'll have a half game on the rest of the division because the Vikes and the Bears and Packs are losing to the Chiefs. Yeah, you guys think you guys are going to beat the Chiefs later?
Right. I'm not going to lie. That was one game I already had marked as a loss for Green Bay. Only as a means of never being comfortable to bet against Mahomes. But even then I'm sure Jordan Love is gonna know what to do going against that team. Like, that was he had his first start against the Chiefs, so he's gonna be very familiar with a lot of those players out there, including Patrick Mahomes.
Right. And Patrick Mahomes was Mahomes last night. Like, when you're watching that game and it's like, if it wasn't for his Houdini stuff, they wouldn't have done anything. They had like 40 yards rushing in the whole game or something like that. They couldn't do anything on the ground. And Mahomes,
I think it is and I like to think for any football team, it is a concern. It should be a concern for you when your quarterback is your top rusher on the field.
Right. But I do believe that that's more of a testament to how good the defensive line was instead of them having to be that way. I don't think that they're going to get pressure in all the games like they got because we're going to give pressure better than any team in the NFL this year. The Lions, and you can mark that. I saw the proof of it yesterday, and it didn't just come from Hutchinson. It came from all over the place. Our best graded defensive player was Aleem McNeil, our defensive tackle. And you're wondering why we didn't select a defensive tackle in the high rounds. That's why. They expected Aleem McNeil to take this third-year jump and to be better. He's been better every season that he's played. And, betting on your own team and not listening to the outside noise, I compliment them for that. That's good. Robert says, unlike the guy who rarely defends the title, the tribal chief defended the day and they raised the banner. Yep. Unlike the guy who rarely defends his title.
Acknowledge me.
The tribal chief. Patrick Mahomes is the man. You can't take anything away from it, man. I mean, you can't really say anything other than he is the best. He is the best. He may end up being the best to ever do it out of any quarterback in any era, because, I mean, I acknowledge that it's the best quarterbacking I've seen with my own eyes. And I've watched Steve Young play. I've watched Joe Montana play. I've watched Brett Favre play. I've watched Aaron Rodgers play. I've watched some of the greatest quarterbacks, but Patrick Mahomes is a unicorn. That's special. That's special right there. He is that good. I mean, with nothing. Like, he makes Houdini stuff happen. And it almost seems like you almost got him the whole game. Doesn't it? It's like they're right behind him. I got him. Running right behind him. Barely got him.
One thing I always give him credit for, the way I'd say he's the best, is he knows how to make certain people around him better.
Yeah. And he did hit some of the wide receivers right in the hands.
Mm-hmm.
But that wasn't all of the game. There was a lot of plays in that game, and it wasn't it. And part of the reason he was hitting them in the hands and they weren't catching it was because he was off platform. They were moving him to a place outside the pocket. The play wasn't going as designed. And I'm sorry to say it, but those throws weren't accurate. You're asking this guy to completely stop while he's running full speed, turn around, and then catch the ball. Yes, if it hits your hand, you should catch it. Yes, he should have turned around and made a spectacular catch because it hit him in the hands. But you try to catch a ball like that. They don't all do it. Hard catch.
Yeah, and to go back to that part about Kelsey being gone, that was another testament to why I thought the Lions would win. Like, if Patrick Mahomes didn't have Travis Kelsey, the thing was like, who else can he depend on as a go-to guy on a consistent basis if he doesn't have his tight end?
So I'm going, Brent, I'm sorry, said Hutch will be getting double teamed so much he's going to create pressure on the other side. Charles Harris didn't seem to have that. It seemed that great. Charles Harris was the second highest rated player on our defense, according to PFF. Charles Harris was great yesterday. Actually, he had a better game than Aiden Hutchinson had from a graded perspective. So I don't know where you get that from. This team held the Kansas City Chiefs. They were 0 for 7 on third down. Okay? That is not a couple drop passes. That is a dominating defensive performance in the second half against the best offense in the league, minus their best tight end. But that line was still intact. Everything was still intact. So I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to help you out, Brent. I want you to make sure that you see the correct things that were in there. Maybe you didn't see him, but he was getting pressure the entire night. Charles Harris. Watson is out, and Dobbs is questionable for the game in the Bears. Yep.
Yeah.
Do you think
that one?
So what happens if they're both out?
Well, Dobbs has been practicing with the team. Sure, he doesn't look 100%, but he'll probably be good to go as far as the Sunday goes. I mean, I wouldn't count on Dobbs to do everything on the receiving end for our offense, but he should do plenty as far as being the go-to guy out there. Like during the preseason, Dobbs was more the go-to guy more than Watson for Love, though.
Yeah, I feel you here with Bear Down Mike. All the haters be trashing the Bears D-line from last season. Bears have improved, and it's yet to be seen. And that's fair. You can say that. You can say you believe in the guys that nobody else knows about. That's fine. I mean, the Lions just did that. No one gave them they said, oh, they're not going to be able to stop the run because they couldn't stop the run last year. They were 32nd against the run, blah, 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 blah. Well, that's what happens when you improve your team. You put people in those holes. Well, you can't count on a rookie. Well, they did. You can count on rookies. You can't count on them all the time, but in that case, you did. I don't know if that's going to be true for you, Bear Down Mike. Maybe your rookies will show out. Maybe some no-name guys that, are making a name for themselves will make their name. You're more than entitled to have the opinion that all your new guys are going to be good. I'll give you that. Rob, if we win Sunday versus the Bears, we take first place alone because of division record. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. You'll have it. You'll be the same record as us, but you ain't going to beat the Lions. That became very evident yesterday watching that game where you're looking for certain guys to step up and the right guys stepped up for me. You haven't seen what Jahmyr Gibbs is going to do. I cannot wait. This guy is going to crush this league. I'm going to get to shut John Dorn up. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. And then him with a real slow Brian Branch. How you liking that trade now? You think you'd like Brian Branch on your team, Green Bay Packer fan? Brian Branch won that game for the Lions yesterday. Our rookie. The rookie that you traded us.
Yeah, I already gave my take on it. Like I was never sold on the idea Green Bay would get him, but like Rob said, if we did go after Branch, we wouldn't have Jaden Reed. And I'm thinking if Reed turns out to be a bust for us playing for us, then sure, I may be thinking more Brian Branch then.
Yeah, and I'm just talking smack, but that's what it'll be. It'll forever be tied to that. That's what it is. I mean, it will be forever tied. Jaden Reed and Brian Branch will forever be linked together. Just like Lewis.
Actually, when it comes to that trade, it's actually two players that will be linked to him, Brian Branch and Dontavian Wicks, because we supposedly got a 5th round pick with that trade too, as I recall. When we traded
it's crazy to think about that rabbit hole that you're talking about, because Brian Branch actually came from the TJ Hawkinson trade, which was, it was pick 48, which we traded to you, which turned into Brian Branch. And then we traded down with the picks that you gave us and accumulated more 3rd round picks that we used to move up to get Broderick Martin. Like, there's a crazy rabbit hole that happens that basically TJ Hawkinson gave us like Brian Branch, Sam Laporta. And I mean, if it goes down in the way that it goes down, I mean, I'm telling you, Jack Campbell was awesome yesterday. That pass breakup that he had in a clutch moment, he's so long. He's so long. Like, you think you can fit it in that window, but he just uses those big old long hands and was able to get pass breakups. It's what we've been missing. Tight ends have owned the Lions for the last 3 years. We can't stop any tight ends. And we really didn't stop tight ends yesterday. And that's why I say that if Kelsey was in there, he would have caught that touchdown catch instead of their backup tight end. It's still a reception from the tight end position. But they were sticky all night long. I think the whole NFC North marked KC as a loss this season. You like that? Good call. I mean, Why? Well, I mean, why would you think you could beat them? They just won the Super Bowl and you didn't. So nobody in the North could. Let's
Probably
be
so.
real. The Lions are the only good team in the division. Minnesota might win some games, but the Bears and Packers are fighting for third.
Fighting for third.
You're fighting for third. I mean, you like that. That's a call right there. I don't agree with that one. I think the Vikings are going to be in last, and I think that they're going to be fighting for second. But that's close. I do think the Lions are going to be the team. What will the Packers run-pass ratio be? 60-40, 70-30? You better hope it's like 50-50. If you want to.
Definitely it's going to be 50. If I had to answer that question, it's going to be mostly 50-50. Like, we don't, like, it's more, the offense itself is more balanced. Like, you're not going to see much more of a pass than a run. But in this game, it could be the majority percentage is going to be run, because much of our offense is predicated on us running the football.
I love these little things right here. So if the Packers win, oh my gosh, right. They're both going to be 1-1. There's going to be a 2-way tie for first place and maybe a 3-way tie if the Vikings can win. Matt Nagy calling plays. Fire him, KC, just like we did.
It's my quarterback.
Fire him.
You've had enough of that shit.
You have. Man, I don't know if it was the play calling, man. I mean, drop passes. There's some things that they can point to that they can place blame on. What up? What all you doing, Detroit Dogs? What's up, Brent? Scoffing, dude. A good job. Scoffing dud. A good job.
Yeah, I think he means Marquez Valdez-Scantling for Kansas City did a good job, but he only had 2 receptions for 48 yards that game. Like, personally, to me, he should have been the receiver that stepped up, and if Kelsey was not out there, since he's a more credible deep threat like what he was in Green Bay.
Wow. Jay Mommy says Hutch has 7 hurries. And Brent said the refs have been screwing the pooch. They need to be held accountable. I agree with that, too. If they got they should have been calling him on a false start, Juwan Taylor, probably 10 times. He was lined up illegally in the backfield so he could get a jump on Hutchinson. He still had 7 hurries. But if they start calling these things right, and they need to hold those people accountable. But when they get that stuff right, Hutchinson's going to be a terror this year, guys. He's got special talent. He does not even look like the same guy. Jaden Reed will get his chance to shine Sunday now. Yup. You're dependent on a rookie as your number 1 wide receiver. Yup. That's good. That's good. Throw him right out there to the fire. Maybe he shines, but that's a good way to ruin players too.
He's gonna be in the fire anyway because he was one of our starting receivers. So yeah, I agree with that. But thing is, we was gonna throw Jaden Reed into the fire as a starter anyway. Either he's gonna be a slot guy or he could be on the outside where Watson is.
Brent says Gibbs is only getting started. Hang on, y'all. He's the real deal. You could see it, man. He had a couple. I mean, how fast he was able to he was definitely the fastest guy on that field. I mean, when you saw him go, like every single time that he touched the ball, I was holding my breath. You have that feeling, like, if he breaks one more tackle on 3 of those, he was gone. He actually dropped one where he would have had an easy touchdown. So I love it. What up? What up, Yoli? Hello to everyone, Yoli says. She's being nice out there. Yeah. Yoli? Is that it? Is that how you say it? You know Yoli?
Yeah, she's a fellow Packers fan. I know who she is.
Right on. Rob says, I think the Lions, I think if the Lions beat Chiefs, we could get 13 wins and a 1 seed. They didn't. It's not an if thing anymore, brother. It is over. The Lions did beat the Chiefs 21-20. I don't know if you knew that or if that was or Seahawks. Okay, you meant Seahawks. That makes that game pretty big going into it. That's a revenge game. They got 10 days to get ready for this game. And last time that the Lions played the Seattle Seahawks did not punt the ball one time during the entire game. That is not going to happen this time, guys. That won't happen.
Yeah, and the thing is, the Seahawks won't have the element of surprise factor like they had last season. Like, nobody expected them to have the season they had before. Right. Now you have to pay them close attention now.
Right. You think that the NFL's kind of hip on, I don't think Geno Smith's going to sneak up on anybody. I think he'd take a step back this year because he ain't sneaking up on nobody. But, that's Pete Carroll, man. That dude is one of the better coaches ever. He's had success everywhere he's been. So, that's a good team. They draft well, too. Brent says there are too many questions with J-Lo and Fields. Have to wait a few.
Right.
Time will tell, man. They're either going to be, as a Lion fan, you want them both to be bad. You're hoping that they both suck and they're both finished at the bottom. They win 5 or 6 games each, whatever.
Like Jordan Love still remains unproven in his case, and Justin Fields, he still has question marks as far as what is he going to look like this year? Like, is he going to progress or will he take a step back?
Brent says all of our top 4 rookies made timely contributions and helped us beat the Chiefs. The future looks great. I love that comment. You like that. Because you look at it. Jahmyr Gibbs, you can tell. You can tell why they picked him at 12th overall right in the first game. That was real game. You can see the speed. You can see that he's smart and he knows how to follow blocks, and he's fastest guy. He's going to be the fastest guy on every field. Jack Campbell had a great pass breakup, in a crucial moment on either a second or third down to try to stop a drive. And actually, there was like 3 plays right in a row that were in that series that had all rookies in it. Sam Laporta had a third down catch, and he had a crushing block. TJ Hawkinson never made a block like that. Sam Laporta is already a better blocker than TJ Hawkinson. I love the fact that they got him in the second round and that he's the replacement for that $17 million blown up contract that you guys have in Minnesota. And now your guys going to have to deal with it. Now you're going to have a below average blocker and an above average receiver paying $17 million to it. Good luck with that. And then Brian Branch, he won the game for us. Pick 6. Patrick Mahomes has never been picked on opening game at home, ever. And it did. They took it to the house, and there you go. Second round draft pick right there. And then, that's a beautiful thing. Your rookies showing out. Sam Laporta, Jack Campbell, Jahmyr Gibbs, Brian Branch. Future looks good. I seriously doubt that the Lions were thinking that they would lose. No. They asked Dan Campbell after the game was over. They were like, "Did you get any questions answered in this game?" He said, "No, I didn't get any questions answered. I got confirmation on something that I already knew. I got confirmation on something he already knows, that this is one of the best teams in the NFL. Go Pack, go. Can't wait." Bears still suck. Fields is a great running back for sure.
You've had enough of that shit.
Yeah.
You've had enough of that shit.
It is still up in the air for everybody to see if Fields is better of a passer than he is a runner.
I told y'all last week he wasn't going to throw the ball easy against that secondary. Jeremy was the soothsayer. He was making predictions, and he was knocking them out of the park. The thing that surprised me the most about Gibbs was that he was running violent and lowering his shoulder. Yeah, he's a baller, man. Oh, yeah, bro. They will punt. If I have to call it LOL, let's go. They will punt. They will punt. And every single one of those guys on the Lions team, remember that they didn't punt. There's another game that's circled on our calendar, which is that Carolina game. They physically dominated the Lions on both sides of the ball. And those are some guys. We got some dudes. We're going to have a full strength offensive line. Bring that shit to me, man. Bring that shit to me, man.
And when it comes to Carolina, one's gonna think, what are they gonna look like without DJ Moore, as well as the question mark being, how good is Bryce Young gonna be as their QB?
Yeah, his 5'1" frame is going to get crushed in the NFL. I don't care how good he plays quarterback, guys. I don't care how good his skill set is. He is too small. His body is going to break from an NFL beating. Like, he can be all he wants to be from elusiveness, but after the fourth or fifth time a 350-pound dude falls on him, his body isn't built to take that kind of beating. You know, Josh Allen can take a beating. You know, you got these big quarterbacks. I mean, even Jared Goff, 6'4", that's a big dude. I highly respect A-Dub. Thank you, sir.
No problem, Brent.
All right, so Jeremy says, I'm happy with some of those blocks that Sam Laporta did during that run on the touchdown by Montgomery. That block was beautiful. And isn't it great to win a game like that? That's how you want to win games, by physically breaking your team. That's what happened, was the offensive line and broke the will of their defensive line, and they won the game by running the ball right down their throat into the end zone. There's nothing you can do about that. There's no skill. There's no play you can draw up that works against getting physically dominated and getting pushed into the end zone. There's no game plan for that.
About that comment, it makes me think perhaps the Lions can always thank the Bears for them getting Montgomery over there.
Yeah. Montgomery wanted to eat. He knew that. He knew this offensive line was like that. As of right now, as lame as it sounds, we're the team in the NFL. Woo! LOL. Sorry. Had to drink that Kool-Aid shot. It's true for a few more hours. Ha ha ha. Yeah, we're the top team. We're the top dog right now. Even if it is for only 48 hours. Drink it in, Lions fans. Drink it in. Where were the Okwara brothers? That's weak. That's weak. Where were the Okwara brothers? They were watching their other brothers that weren't blood brothers destroy the Kansas City Chiefs. That's called depth, guys. Julian didn't dress because he's injured. Romeo was probably on the sideline. He maybe have got some snaps in there. But the entire defensive line all graded in the 60s. I mean, they dominated that game no matter who they put out there. Charles Harris, Pascal, Aline, Aiden, the Kaminsky was in there. I mean, they were just having fun. They were tag teaming each other in. Hey, get in there. You go get some sacks. You go get some sacks. Everybody gets some sacks. Our two MVPs were both wide receivers, Sun God and Tony. Ha ha ha. Kadarius Toney. They're trying to get him fired, aren't they?
Wouldn't surprise me if Kansas City cuts him after that game.
So Brent says, I heard that Romeo was a scratch. He could have been. Because all of the defensive line that I saw ate. They were all eating yesterday. So if you're out there and you're thinking that Aiden Hutchinson is our only player, you're wrong. I mean, you can be wrong. Go ahead and say it. It doesn't mean that you're right. Oh, man. So I want to take time right here. I mean, we have 22 people on our YouTube stream right now. If you are watching on YouTube right here and right now, please go give the video a like right now. Can we get a couple more people to like that video out of the 22? Get pumping up a little bit there. Help us get up that algorithm, right? I just learned that word like 6 months ago, algorithm. Hey, Russell, you need to keep on going live so you can get up on the algorithm. I'm like, okay, you're trying to teach me some stuff, right? Trying to help me out. Yeah, we want to get seen by more people. We love putting football content. You know, I'm not Darren McCarty. I'm not any famous, super, sports guy. I never played in a league. I really just have a bad opinion about the Detroit Lions, and that's what I am. And we invite all of the bad opinions to come onto this program and have bad opinions because we're just sports fans. We love being sports fans. We do this 365 days a year. The Detroit Lions villain squad right there. I need my homies. I need all the homies that I can get. I need you to come in and I need you to follow our page because all of these Packer fans are coming in here and they're trying to take over. So if you go give the villain squad a follow, we can get a couple more Lions fans in this network right there. If you're a Bear fan, I'm sure Mike the Bear fan would like some more Bear fans to come in here. And he's given a bunch of great Bear content right there. And Bill the Packer fan, he's the resident Packer fan for the Main Event 365. And we're running us out there. I hope I'm not losing viewers by putting Bill the Packer fan and his stuff up there. But if you're a Packer fan, go follow the page right there because that's what keeps the motor running. We love being able to come here and talk football every day. Get your predictions in there. If you have not gotten your prediction in for the Chicago Bears versus the Green Bay Packers in Soldier Field, it's War Week, baby. They're not scared. Right there. It's War Week. This is NFC North Football Talk with Russell Wayne. Bonus Saturday. It's a bonus Saturday. We want to get this in. And I want to get this Tampa Bay Buccaneer talk in here too. Are the Viking fans really in witness protection the day before the season? Is there any Viking fans that are out there that are going to represent this trash heap of a team? You know you're going to be trashed this year. That's why you scared running in there. Come on, where are the Viking fans out?
I asked a question I didn't think I got an answer for in regards to Minnesota. Like, if you don't have Kirk Cousins after this year, that you don't manage to give him an extension, who can you trust as your QB between Nick Mullins and the guy you drafted, Jaron Hall?
You like that?
The answer to that question is not on your current roster.
You like that?
You need to finish your sentence. You have to finish your sentence in cap hell. You're not done feeling.
You like that?
You're not done feeling that burn yet because you don't have anybody that you can say
It's my quarterback.
That's right.
It's my quarterback.
You don't have anybody that you can say that to.
It's my quarterback.
You know, the Green Bay Packers are hoping that they can say
It's my quarterback.
about Jordan Love. They don't know yet. They may have somebody.
It's my quarterback.
But you got Kirk Cousins there eating up $30 million. You're not going to be able to afford to pay him.
It's my quarterback.
And Justin Jefferson.
It's my quarterback.
And TJ Hawkinson.
It's my quarterback.
And some backup tight end that blocks real good named Oliver.
It's my quarterback.
You want to pay all those guys and you think you're going to be relevant. That's why you're in witness protection right now, Minnesota Viking fan. And you know that you're scared. You know you're scared of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers might beat you. They could run the ball down your throat with your trash defensive line. And they can pick up a W. Baker Mayfield becoming a hero over Kirk Cousins. You lose that game. You lose that winnable game. And then you're going to be right where I said you were going to be, down in the bottom. In the bottom. Where you at, Chamez? Where is it?
Because I'm saying, looking at the Okay, thanks, Brent. He said, good question. Vikings next QB.
You like that?
We don't know.
It's my quarterback.
They don't know either.
And,
Oh,
and the thing about this game against Tampa Bay, if I had to speak on it, like I don't look at Tampa Bay to be much of a slouch. Like they still have their top guy, Mike Evans, who can still give them hell if they ain't got nobody to cover him. Like he's had over 1,000 yards every year since he's been in the league, so he's definitely a problem for them. And then I don't think Tampa Bay is shorthanded on defense either. Like they still have some of their top guys out there, like their middle guy Vita Vea is going to be an issue. They still have Avante David at linebacker. So yeah, I don't think Tampa Bay is that shorthanded of guys who can give the Vikings problems in that game.
Yep. All this trash talk bringing any Viking fans in? Hell no, it's not. They're in witness protection. You know, they did that thing. You know, Quessie's out there, you know, wearing a wire, you know, and they got to protect this guy. I don't know if Quessy wants to go out in public. I mean, look at the crap that he's done. He let the Lions move up from 32 to 12 for a third-round pick. Are you kidding me? Quessy should be fired. Your GM's trash. Quessy should be fired for that. You look at the Bears. The Bears got from 9-1. They got like 3 first-round picks. A Sam's Club gift card, 3 players. A Mercedes-Benz. And you get a third-round pick to move up 20 spots and let us take the fastest wide receiver in the league.
Yeah, and as Packer fans, we can thank Quez for us getting Christian Watson because he did trade with us in that same draft.
Right. Yeah. And then you let the Packers get Christian Watson, and then you give up a second and a third-round pick for TJ Hawkinson. You pay $8 million a year to a blocking tight end. You fire your best linebacker. You fire your best pass rusher. You fire your best defensive back. You fire your best defensive tackle. You bring in half a sack Davenport and Byron Murphy, and you're like, oh, yeah, let's call it a day. We're going to be great. I love my team. No, they don't want to. They don't want to defend that trash heap. Cousins will be gone in a year because they got to pay Jefferson after this season and the contract is up. Yep.
You like that?
And it's okay. I don't even hate you, Viking fan. It's okay. I've been there. I've been trying to defend dumpster fires here in Detroit during the Matt Patricia era. Oh, yeah, it's the Patriot way. We love our lives. Congratulations on the dub. Thank you.
You like that? You like that?
You get 5 on that. You get 5 Kirk Cousins because, mutual respect's out there. What we want is a competitive division, right? I don't want a competitive division. I want to run away with it. But having a competitive division, that's not such a bad thing. That's cool. When you got 3 teams vying for a playoff spot and one team can win and 2 other guys can make it in. Who?
It definitely pushes you to be better every week.
The Viking fans are like the team no defense. Yeah. They're not not going to be very good. I don't know. I mean, if you're a Viking fan, and I know that you don't want to come on to the show, but if you're a Viking fan,
that lady Viking fan, Sarah, I told her that the day that your defense is better than what it was last season would be the day I eat crow about your Vikings. That's what I said to her. Like, if your defense is not as suspect as it was last season or any better, only then would I be eating crow, like she said most of us would. Yeah, I know I said I eat crow about them, but I said that depends on how good your defense is going to be this year.
And it's not going to be. I mean, they can't. I mean, the thing is like The thing they don't take into consideration, oh, we'll be okay without Henry. Oh, we'll be okay without Patrick Peterson. Oh, we'll be okay without. Okay, that's fine. That if you believe that, but here's the thing: is the Packers got better on defense. The Lions got better on all of their weaknesses. The Bears got better. They spent $100 million bringing in starter level talent and backup talent. They've
Guys
made
like
their
TJ
teams better.
Guys like TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds. Yeah.
Yeah. So they've all made their teams better, and you didn't. Now, you won the division, but you won, 13 close games. A bunch of those games, you can't expect to win every single one of those games. The numbers are going to catch up to you if you're playing in games like that. I'm sorry, Viking fan. I will eat the crow. I'm on record to say that too, A-Dub. Like we can eat our crow. I'll eat a double crow burger with cheese with the Big Mac sauce on it. If they're coming out and they're like 4-0 after the first couple weeks, if they upset the Lions, because it is going to be an upset. You ain't whooping this team. This team, they proved a lot to me yesterday. But John Kaplan, welcome to the program, my brother.
What's going on, guys?
It's a happy day in Zamunda.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
So, what can this program do for you?
Well, we're kind of talking inter division and whatnot. Last year, Vikings, a game that I thought we should have won. We let down, and I think we need to go back and get that.
Go. Did you hear that, A-Dub?
I think we're half a game.
Or he cut out.
I think we're half a game ahead, and we need to keep that.
I hear.
Well, any given
heard the whole
game day, anyone can win.
What, that Vikings game you lost last season?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's on my end.
I can understand that.
I love being all. I gotta put this up. Kyle says that the Packers are going to win the North Division. No team is better than the Packers. So I just wanted to bring up that it's been 719 days since the Packers have beaten the Lions, signed the villain.
Yeah,
okay.
I would say pump your brakes a bit on that, Kyle, because we got to see what this team is like first. Like if we considering if we do well enough with the first game, this first game of the season where we're playing the Bears, if we do well enough, we'll know exactly what we have.
Yep, and there we are. LaFleur. I know you look like you're agitated right there. What's going on here? LaFleur is 1-3 versus Dan Campbell, and I get to say something to Packer fans that you've said to me for years and years and years and years is I feel you, but you're gonna have to prove it. You're gonna. I haven't seen it, so you're gonna have to prove it.
He said, "What? Packers are going to have to prove it."
You like that?
Yes, you don't just
like that.
You like that?
You don't just get to say it because you're the Packers, because you won titles. You were the last team to win a title, but that was over a decade ago. So we don't allow nonsense on this show. I wouldn't even allow nonsense from the Lions fans if they want to bring up old stuff that sucks. We keep it relevant.
It's about right now.
We keep it relevant and we keep it real.
I'll give the Packers the credit. They have a very good defense. They have 12 first-round picks throughout their defense. Or no, I'm sorry, not 12. 8 first-round defensive picks starting. Yeah. I think it's 8. That's damn good.
Oh, I got to read this. This is a great comment right here. And I love this. Phil, you were at the game. He was in Kansas City. It was about 40% Lions fans. Arrowhead is incredible. I've been to a lot of Lions road game. That was easily the loudest stadium that I've ever been to go to on the road. At the opener, to get the win was huge. The league better be on notice. We are built for the long haul. Thank you.
I got a question for Phil since he was at the game. Were you anywhere close, Phil, at the end of the game where GM Brad Holmes was high-fiving and fist-bumping all the Lions fans after the game? Did you get to be anywhere near that action? I don't know if you guys saw that video, but that was awesome.
Yeah, I'm a homer, so I went and I watched every single piece of footage that I could get that's out there.
I haven't seen everything, but that jumped out about 3 different times to me. I was like, oh, this is great. This is going to be part of a package soon for a video.
So Brent says that Flores will help the Vikings defense, but he doesn't have enough talent to work with. Kind of like the 2021 Lions, when Aaron Glenn got here.
Yep.
I mean, be patient with it. You don't know. I mean, honestly, you can try and be patient because if you actually believe in that trash heap of a general manager and Kwesi, then I don't know. I don't know why you guys aren't trying to get him out right now. I don't know why you guys aren't calling for his head because he has done nothing but destroy everything that Rick Spielman built for you. But
I mean,
that's
another
right.
Matt Patricia almost. What Matt Patricia did with the Lions, he's doing
tearing them
there.
down, bad contracts. I mean, you're talking $8 million a year for a blocking tight end and $17 million for your other tight end, and now you're going to have to pay Justin Jefferson, and you should. That's the one guy you should have paid in the first place. Give him his $35 million a year, and you're going to have to get a rookie contract. I can't see
them not paying him. I mean, if they decide not to. I mean, granted, paying him needs to happen, and it's going to hurt them with what they've done with the tight ends, but I can't not see them not paying him. That would be the absolute biggest letdown.
Yeah, they got to get that done, right? I mean, he spending all that money, you gotta re-sign.
I mean, the price tag's only going to go up with each game that he does something well. Every time he starts making big plays, it's going to start going up. So get him signed now.
Every part of me knew this was bound to happen. That if Justin Jefferson was as good as advertised, he'll eventually be wanting to get paid the same kind of money Devontae Adams gets paid playing with the Raiders.
Right.
And there's a good chance he's better than Randy Moss in Minnesota. And Randy Moss in Minnesota was an absolute nightmare. Jefferson has the chance to be the number 1 wide receiver in Vikings history.
And he deserves it. I mean, here's the thing. It's like whether you are really deserving of it or not deserving of it. When you're one of, let's say, the top 15 guys at any one of your positions, when it's your time, when it's your turn to get paid, then you're going to get a max deal. Look at TJ Hawkinson. He's one of the top tight ends. He might be 10. He may be right there at 10, but he is a top 10 tight end, and he gets paid like the best tight end. And that's just the way that it is. They didn't overpay him. It was just his turn to get paid. Yep. And if they keep waiting on Justin Jefferson, that number is just going to go up and up. I mean, you might end up paying $40 million a year for a wide receiver, and then good luck.
That's really going to hurt the Vikings for years. And I mean, as a Lions fan, I want them to shoot themselves in the foot as much as possible.
Do you know why?
I would love to.
Do you know why?
Why what? That I want them to shoot themselves in the foot? We do better, and they can't get better players and can't pay people. No.
Just look at the screen. And Dan Campbell just answered that question. Do you know why?
Yeah.
Because
you've had enough of that.
Come on, my graphics.
I love it.
I'm the graphics guy too. Like I'm the one that makes all of the lame stuff that you see that comes out onto our.
That wasn't lame. That was great, man. That was primo.
We like to have fun. We like to have fun at the Detroit Lions Villain Squad. So I put up fun posts like that. please go and follow the page. We're just getting this thing started. We got like 1,500 followers right now. We're on our way to 2,000. But go like this video, follow the page. We got 20 people watching on the YouTube right now. If you're on the YouTube right now, please like the video that you're watching. And that's the type of stuff that helps us. Some people get on here and beg for money and be like, I want you to be my sponsor. I want you to give me money to be this guy. And I'm like, I don't even want that. What I want is just hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button, like the video, that type of stuff. That makes me feel good. That makes me smile on the inside.
That's where we get all this great stuff is from the fans, the comments that they put in there. That gives us more stuff to talk about, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah, we sometimes come up with stuff to talk about, but yeah, we usually run out of stuff, and we need you guys to have input.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get into, speaking of comments, thank you for the segue right there, Mr. Capillard. Kyle says that the Packers are the greatest team in the NFC North that's ever been before. Believe me.
Playoffs.
Overall history, yeah.
Oh,
Playoffs.
Sure.
Oh, gosh.
But you got to remember the Lions of the 50s. And as we said, we're not talking about the past. It is the present. What will your present quarterback do? Will he help the Packers or will he hinder?
That's a great question. Brad Holmes walked down the aisle right next to our seats.
Yeah!
Let's go.
Heck yeah. So happy for you, man. That's what's up.
The energy from that man. Brad Holmes might be, and I'm sorry A-Dub's got to go through this, but I can't help it. I'm just cheesing from ear to ear with the thought of Brad Holmes might be the greatest GM in the history of GMs. Because,
he is,
and I'm not even, am I Homer? Am I Homer? Maybe. But 22 out of 23 of his draft picks are involved with the team and making a high, and there's only one of them that's not actually on the active roster, that's just on the practice squad, but everybody else is on the team making impact on rookie contracts. It's the best ascending team in the NFL, and I got proof of that. I got proof of that at Arrowhead Stadium, and you can't take it away. You can say whatever you want, but that man that says subscribe now on this little PDF thing that I made, Brad Holmes is the best GM in the NFL right now. And you can't argue that. Maybe you can argue it for the Kansas City Chiefs, but we just knocked off the Chiefs. How much will the Vikings have to pay Jefferson? He's the best wide receiver in the NFL. I just went on and said $35 million. What do you think, John?
I'll go a little under. I'll say 30.
You think he get done for 30? Okay. How about you, A-Dub? What do you think they're going to get? Pay that guy. Pay this man.
Considering how good JJ's been for them, yeah, he's definitely he might be in high demands of anywhere from 30 above to 35 mil or something like that. I mean, considering the high talent that he brings to that team, yeah, it's definitely going to be a major pay.
That's nuts. That's nuts. That's a wide receiver. Do you think Amon-Ra is going to get that much? Do you think they're going to have to pay him that amount of money?
Depends on what he would pretty much considering. That would depend on how important he is to that offense and what he provides you. Like, not many receivers. Would. Like, I'm trying to say, not many receivers would demand that much. So that's just where I'm going to stand with it. Like, whatever he demands, that's just going to be what I think he gets.
Yep, and I'm going to give you credit for this, for bringing it, even though it popped into my head, but you were bringing it up right here too. So we're just trying to guess what that is. I think he absolutely gets as much as Jefferson. I mean, I would be a hypocrite if I would just come out and say that, a top 10 guy is going to get top 10 money. He's absolutely a top 10 wide receiver in this league. There's no denying that.
Everyone said it. From ESPN to YouTube, everyone has said Amon-Ra St. Brown is one of the top wide receivers. I think it's been said top 5.
Yep. And he's proven it. And he proved it on Sunday. He caught a touchdown pass and was effective in that game too. So,
and
yeah,
you can put him anywhere. He can be a 1, a 2, a 3. He can play the outside, the inside, the deep inside as a slot.
He's the best blocking wide receiver in the NFL.
Just like Gibbs, only he's a wide receiver. All over, anywhere you need him.
Yep, and that's what Phil says too. Phil says you pay St. Brown what he wants. Nothing can replace his work ethic that he brings to the table every day. He practices just as hard as he plays. You damn right I do. I love that comment right there.
So true.
Because that's what he is.
110% truth, Phil. High five to that, brother.
Phil says 9 targets, 6 catches, 74 yards, and a TD. Right there. He's on my fantasy team. What more can you ask for? What more can you ask for? 21 points. Let's go. Let's go. And that's what you pay him whatever he gets, whatever the going rate is. Whatever that going rate is. I'm sure that Brad Holmes will work his little magic somehow to bring the ends down and make it affordable for the first few years and all that stuff. But
and imagine if J-Mo gets on that same level and can actually catch the ball and gets that hunger and gets that working with St. Brown. You have speed with hands, and then you have reliable hands in St. Brown. Imagine that, Lions fans.
Yeah. Woo! I can't imagine that. So what I want right here, because I've been made through the comments, and I kind of like this conversation today. We're going to keep on drudging it through here, but throw your question comments into the comments because we want to answer some questions too. If you got something that you want us to talk about while we're on here, because we're talking about the obvious stuff right here. Yeah. And, we were talking about them Vikings playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, how that is a bigger game to the Vikings than you might put on there because you're calling it an easy dub. But what happens? What happens if you lose that game? I mean, where does that leave you, Viking fans, if you lose week 1 with Tampa Bay?
Say that's an easy dub, but there was a Kansas City Chiefs fan that said it was an easy dub for his team who got mad at me when I told him to eat some cake. And he thought that was disrespectful. And just, Chiefs are going to win. Chiefs are going to win. No way the Lions can win any given Sunday. Same thing for the Vikings.
Yep. And this is why no Mike Evans trade to Detroit. We have our star wide receiver to play and pay already. I like that call. I made that call on here before. It comes over and over again. It's not in Brad Holmes' MO. He has not proven that he's going to be any kind of style like that to where he's going to overpay from guys from outside of the building. That's the main thing is he's outside of the building. Amon-Ra St. Brown has been here through it. He knows how the training camps are. He knows how hard they practice. He knows what it is.
And we've got all that money coming up next year to pay our own players. If that is truly our mindset, we're not going to go after big names, then we've got all the money to pay all these guys. We're set.
Yep. And they got an extra $20 million.
Pay our own guys. We're not going out signing big name guys to big contracts.
It's like the Bears went out. They blew their load on their whole $100 million, and now it's the Lions that are sitting on the top of after all this stuff, and even being the best team in the NFC North right now.
But didn't they have to spend some of that money though? I heard something about they actually had to spend
than any other team in the NFC North. The Lions still have the most cap space after signing Bridgewater, after reconstructing the guys that they constructed, all the moves that they made, bringing in all these extra people, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Sutton, all of these guys that were brought in. They still, after all of it's said and done, the smoke clears. Here's the Lions with the most cap space and the best team. There you go. Hutchinson, 7 pressures, 20% pass rush win rate, pressures on 3rd and 4th down, and we can't ignore right tackle Taylor getting away with a lot of holding and false starts.
You like that.
That's a great call right there, Phil. And honestly, if they had lost the game, all of the Lions fans would be pointing right at that and saying, what the hell? Why didn't they call all of those? But they called the most important one when they actually did call it. It was in the 4th quarter with 2 minutes left. They backed them up and they got it right on the last one. And Hutchinson looks unblockable, guys. Juwan Taylor is not some punk right tackle. They just paid him 4 years and $80 million to come in
He's just not
and
the best.
protect.
He's definitely not a punk by any means. He's just not the best.
He's one of the best right tackles in the NFL. He's easily a top 10 right tackle. There's no denying that he's a top 10. I would argue that he's a top 5. I would argue he's a top 5 right tackle. That's why they paid him all the money.
Who would you put in front of him?
Well, they had Orlando Brown. What's that?
Who would you put if you're saying he's 5? Who are the 4 in front of him, and who would be the 4 behind him to round out?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I would put Penei Sewell in front of him. I think Penei Sewell's a better right tackle. And if we're just talking, I mean, a lot of times the right and left tackles get kind of put into the same bag. If you're a right or left tackle, they just rate them as tackles.
Right, but they're different. They're different. If you know football, it's different.
But he's definitely one of the top guys. And to my point is he's one of the best. What do you think Hayden Hutchinson's going to do against the other 16 teams that he plays that aren't as good as him? Because the Green Bay Packers don't have a tackle that's as good as Taylor. I mean, you might be able to argue Bakhtiari, but he's on the left side.
They'll chip the crap out of him. Guaranteed, they'll chip the crap out of him. But it may or may not help. But
they can chip him all they want, but that's just going to open up Charles Harris, who is the second highest graded defender that we had. You know who the first highest graded defender we had was? Not Aiden Hutchinson. It was Aleem McNeil was the highest graded defender. One of the top 5 defenders was also Levi Onwuzurike. If you guys think that you're only going to be worrying about Aiden Hutchinson this year, then you're going to be in for a rude awakening. It's just not going to look the same for you guys. 5 pressures on 3rd and 4th down. Yes, he was a beast. And if they would have called those false starts or had to line up where he was supposed to, Hutchinson would have had 2 or 3 sacks last night too. That's just the truth. That it just is what it is.
I got a question for you, Russ, and for the panel. Coming up, we got to play Seattle. Where do you think their offensive line's at?
I don't think that they're anywhere near what Kansas City's is. Okay. I think Kansas City has like when you look at their interior, those guys are.
I said in the comment, number 1 center
at their
and
position.
3rd and 8th right guards.
Kansas City's top 5 at all 3 of those interior positions.
Yep.
And then they spent the money. They spent the money on the outside to bring in Juwan Taylor. They believed that they had an even better offensive line.
Seattle bottom half, 15 on down offensive line.
Yeah, I think they're going to eat. I don't think that I think that it's just going to look a lot different on this game in 10 days, guys. I mean, they may be able to. They're good defensively. They are very good defensively, but they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna be able to run the ball.
I just asked because I don't know anything really outside of the Lions, so I thought maybe I'd ask. Maybe you had a little bit more knowledge.
Oh no, we'll break that down next week for sure when we get into the Seattle talks when we get into the middle of the week. But here we are, the day before War Week. The Bears versus the Green Bay Packers in Soldier Field. If you didn't get your comment in on what you thought that the score was going to be, in this game. Get it in there. Get it in there. Because I'm about ready to shut this program down. I got to shut this program down. Eventually. I got to get back to my wife and my kid. But I've had a lot of fun talking today. Aiden Hutchinson could have about 5 sacks on Thursday without them holding. I agree with that. If it was any other quarterback not named Patrick Mahomes, Hutchinson still would have had at least 2 sacks. Mahomes escaped. I agree with all that, man. I think it's going to look a lot different with not a magician. Like, Geno Smith is not a magician. I don't think that Jordan Love hasn't proven that he's going to be a magician. Desmond Ritter's not a magician. I think that they are about ready to feast for the next 3 weeks with this defensive line. Go ahead, John. Why don't you plug your show? Because I'm going to get out of here.
Awesome. You can find me on YouTube. Just type in the name John Kapler if you want to go, the full thing. Detroit Lions Talk with John Kapler. I'm all about Lions. Only thing I really ever talk. We might throw some wrestling terminology in there, compare some wrestling to our Lions.
Acknowledge me.
It's me holding up the phone. You ain't going to get anything fancy, but you're going to get nothing but Lions talk. Comment down in the comment section below. Let's have conversations, If you want to hit that thumbs up, awesome. If you want to hit the subscribe button, awesome. I'm never going to beg for it. I'm never going to ask for it. Well, let's talk Lions ball. I'm always down. Whether it's hate, whether it's love, whether you hate me, whether you love me, I'm here to talk Lions ball. Go Lions.
That's good stuff. And that is John Kapler. We do this thing right here. This is NFC North. Talk with Russell Wayne. We try to do this thing. And we go every morning, 11 a.m. And that's Eastern time. We're on here. And, in this case right here, I like coming on in the morning because it's such a big week, war week with all that stuff like there. And we love it. We love it. We love that you come on here each and every morning right there. And then we have NFC North open mic. We're going to be here live on Monday night. And you need to bring your thick skin because we're going to be talking about a real game. We're going to be talking about a real game. 3 real games from the NFC North. And there's going to be some trash talk flowing. If the Packers win, are they going to be in witness protection? Are they still going to come out and defend their team if they lose? Same thing with the Bears. If you lose, are you still going to come out and defend your team? That's what we want to find out. We already know the Vikings won't. They may come out if they win, but they definitely won't come out if they lose because they're going to be in witness protection like they've been all summer long because they know that their team is trash. It's okay. It's okay to admit it right there. And get your roast posts in. Go to NFC North The Huddle. Put your trash talk in. And if you find a really, really good one on there, don't be afraid to send it to me and Mike. We might even air it on the show on our beginning segment. So this has been so much fun. We're so happy to have defeated the tribal chief.
Acknowledge me.
We don't need to acknowledge him anymore. You need to acknowledge the Detroit Lions at the top of the NFC North. I can't say it enough. I can't come out here and brag enough. Nah. Let's do this thing like that. So from John Kapler, from A-Dub, the NFC North, Talk with Russell Wayne. God bless each and every one of you. I will see you all on Monday. One Pride, baby. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And join us on Mondays. We appreciate you watching the program today. Just in case you were wondering, it's been 719 days since the Packers beat the Lions, signed the villain. We don't give a shit about your feelings either. NFC North Talk with Russell Wayne. Weekdays, 11 a.m. Eastern, baby. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Did you like today's broadcast? You can help us out just by hitting a like on it. You can help us out by throwing a comment saying, hey, I love the Lions. Wait a minute. You could say, Lions suck. You can say that too.
Like that.
It's not fair. They were so happy. It's not gonna be okay.
What's going on, Russell Wayne and the Main Event 365 Network? This is Jason Kabinda from the Detroit Lions. Here to give y'all a shout out, man. We appreciate all the support, man. Know you guys are big fans. Know that you guys are rooting for us to take the North this year, and we're going to do just that, man. Appreciate you guys so much. Just want to give y'all a shout out. Y'all have a great day.